Yes, yes. Good morning, good afternoon, good
Morning.
evening. Welcome to Good
Yes.
Conversations. Yes, we're talking about changing gears to surge ahead. Sometimes alterations and adjustments must be made.
hmm
Sometimes uh, uh, you may be a sword maker in a gun era and you have to change what you do. Sometimes you have to speed up or slow down to get ahead and maintain to keep your head above water. Uh, uh,
Yep.
uh, yeah, to do well. You know that weary and well doing is like it's like swimming. No matter how tired you get, you have to learn. There's times when you have to slow down and float, and regain
hmm
your and start swimming again. Um, you know, we're in a time that can be very tiring. Uh, 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 a time of high because there's so much access. There's a
Yes.
high level of criticism and negativity. I mean, the beauty is that there's an increased level of exposure of truth. But there's also where there's an exposure of truth. There's also increased levels of shuffling the deck and creating distractions uh,
hmm
to keep people from the truth. You know, during the time when Kyrie was going with through what he was going through, which was really a monetary move,
Right.
uh, to speak straight up truth. Yeah, he may be a distraction in the locker room sometimes. We don't know that because I've never heard any of his teammates say that. But the truth is that he's been depicted in a certain way, and because he stands up for certain things, some things are a little off center. I don't know about flat Earth and all that stuff. I don't know. I don't know about all that. But the jab, forcing people to make medical decisions. I understood that stance.
hmm
And uh, he paid heavily for it in the beginning because his he already had a semi tarnished reputation because of what happened in Cleveland and Boston. Strictly on a basketball and the desire to be great level. His mentor being Kobe, he did not want to be the understudy of LeBron or take second place. You know, sometimes when you're young, being first becomes an idol, and sometimes your decisions when you pray before an idol are just straight up nonsensical. But but he learned that lesson, and you see the maturity slowly and gradually happening as he was coming to a knowledge of who he was and who he is. Um, he took a stance when uh, you know freedoms were being removed from people just right in front of everyone. He stood on his. I don't like to use that two-ball cane reference. Not stand on his. He stood his ground. Uh, uh, um, um, he stood his ground, and he refused, like so many, including
hmm
yours truly, to not allow
Me as
for
well.
yours truly and yours truly to not and allow uh, others to dictate without not operating out of fear. First off,
Right.
and being confident in what has already been designed to do what was necessary to cause
hmm
an overcoming in that area. So what happened was, especially here in New York, there was a strong push with the NBA also, which is stationed out of New York. There was a strong media push to denigrate anyone who refused to bow uh, in that sense and operate with the autonomy that is free that comes with freedom. The what's best for your body and your life. And he made that decision and was publicly humiliated and down for it. Now, it turns out that all those who were forced to lose their positions and money, a livelihood, won the case here in New York. and there had to be reparations. I love to say that word.
Mm-hmm.
There
Mm-hmm.
had to be reparations
Yep.
for the tyranny of trying to force someone to do something threatening their livelihood, and if they did something that was not proven and proved to not be correct, and they were given the opportunity to get uh, a recompense. So that would include him, who
Mm-hmm.
who was suspended and treated
Yep.
ill because of that mandate, quote unquote. And it proved no matter how much you dislike how his antics or whatever you call them, he was correct. And so he posted a post about Hebrews to Negroes,
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Dalton's docu series, documentary slash book, and he did not add any information. He just sent the link out, and he was labeled all sorts of things for a post where with
Yeah.
no additional
Foul
information.
things. That, I
Yeah,
mean, just horrible things.
yeah, he was threatened. Even some of the boulets, some of the gatekeepers, that they opened their mouth calling him all
Oh yeah.
sorts of
They're the
names and
first
what
ones
have
out the
you.
box.
But the thought behind it is that all that money that was withheld, it was due him. That's what's not being said. All that
Right,
money
right,
that
right. You see,
was
they cried about that.
it was due him
Mhm.
because of the evidence that no matter how many times Pfizer and them try to tell you that this is some sort of cure or protection, when it's exactly the opposite.
Yes.
You're introducing things into your body that you have no clue
What is
what
going in
they
there and what
are
they are doing.
and what is really for.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, what is
Yeah.
it really for?
Come on now. I mean,
So sometimes you have to change gears, right?
mm,
Your approach that may be emotional, your approach that you may have been done wrong, the approach that they were wrong about you and are wrong about you.
mm-hmm.
You can scream to the heavens and prove them right, or you can change gears, slow down in the sense like Neo dodging the bullets.
Mm-hmm.
You slow everything else down, but it
Exactly.
looks like you're swifter. To
Like that. Yeah.
them,
Yeah.
it looks like you're swifter. But what it is, you're taking ideal notice and supreme notice of what's going on. And you slow things down. That's changing gears, right? So that you can have victory. Sometimes you have to see the forest for the trees, and you have to see the leaves for the type of trees and the fruit that they bear. You just don't willy nilly pick berries and put them in your mouth. You got to know
You got to know
what
what you
it
putting in your
is.
mouth.
Exactly. You got to know what you're putting in your mouth. so, so with that said, you know, changing gears to surge ahead. Sometimes the old plan needs alteration.
Mm. Good
Uh,
word. Yes.
alter, alter it.
Yes.
That
Yes.
has two connotations. There's the one that ends in er, which means to change or transform, and there's the one that ends in ar, which means take it to the highest
Yeah.
authority.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Sometimes you have to alter it and alter it. And no, you have to alter it to alter it. You have to put it on the altar so that
Yes.
change can happen.
Yes.
Changing gears has everything to do. It's not that you're not staying in motion. It is not that you're not going to do. But maybe the how may change.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the what may change.
Exactly.
The why does not, right? The why does not. But maybe how you're doing it, the method, right? The method may have to change.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of being overt, you might have to be covert.
Mm.
Remember, they did not just walk into the promised land willy
Nope.
nilly marching.
Nope.
Oh, when the saints, oh, when the saints. No, they didn't do that. They didn't do that. They didn't do that. What they do? What they do? They sent 12 spies.
Mm-hmm.
They had to do what we call in the military recon.
Recon.
They had to do what's reconnaissance. That's a way of studying what's in the place you're going to be,
Mm-hmm.
studying where you plan to advance,
Yes. Yes.
studying how the giants in that area operate,
Yes.
partaking of what the fruit is like there,
Mm.
and coming back with the attitude that it's yours.
That. Mm. Mm.
Change, to surge ahead, you may have found comfort in the wilderness. You may have been born in the wilderness.
Mm-hmm.
You may have been born, and mommy and daddy weren't right. Daddy wasn't there, was violent, or wasn't
Mm-hmm.
right. Mommy was there, was violent, wasn't right. Right? You may have been grown up as a foster. You may have grown up adopted. You may have grown up in all sorts of manners of ways. You may have grown up so well off that you're delusional. Some people get
Right.
a reality check that way. And
Mm-hmm.
what happens is, what does the truth do? See what it is? This is what causes transformation. The truth causes the transformation,
Yes,
and
it
your
does.
acceptance of it, and your apprehension of it, and your
Yep. Yep.
approval of
Yep.
it.
Yep.
First, it hurts. First, it hurts.
Mm-hmm.
When you go from a dark place to an extremely light place, the back of your eyes hurt. Right? Just when you go from silence to loud, it is an abrupt change, and you're startled.
Yes.
Right? So first thing it shakes you up. The truth shakes you up. It causes a reaction, right? That's the first thing the truth does. Sometimes it's a aha, it's a wow, but sometimes it's oh man, right? Sometimes it hurts, but what does it do? It discriminates against everything false. So
Mm.
every lie you've ever lived, ever told,
Mm.
ever propagated, were indoctrinated in, were received the propaganda of.
Yes.
Every lie that you were saturated in, the truth starts to wash off of you because it discriminates against everything false.
That's
But
right.
in that process, the truth makes you free.
Free.
It cleans you. It cleanses you. It changes you.
Yes.
Makes you. Your constitution changes. You know how they say your flesh changes every 7 years. Your
Mm-hmm.
whole skin cells replace each other
Yeah.
every seven
They
years.
start renewing and regenerating. Yeah.
Yes. Well, when you are coming to the truth, the old you dies. The
Mm-hmm.
old, the old you dies. And when you come into the truth of what you're in, who you're around, and what they know and believe and
Mm-hmm.
understand, what has been said to you, what has been said about you,
Yeah.
um, and you realize that it's not true. Now, the immediate and fleshly response is disassociate. But we're told to love our enemies. We're told to live peaceably with all men. If someone who is deemed themselves opposed to you, uh, 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 an enemy or frenemy, as Pastor Mark always says, a frenemy. It always cracks me up. Um, it says for you to feed them, to give them drink, thereby the hot coals, pouring hot coals. In other words, revenge is the Lord's.
Mm-hmm.
You don't own it. You don't
Exactly.
you can't even rent to own. You can't even lease
Exactly.
it. You can't even lease
He
it.
said, "I got you."
It's too hot to hold. Too
Yeah.
hot to
Yeah.
handle. It's too hot to handle.
You can't
So
go to rent to own and find that one.
so you have to change gears.
Yeah.
You have to change gears. And it's not in the level of love, it's how you love. Right? It's not in uh it's it's it says live peaceably, able to make peace. So sometimes it is what it is, and you have to make peace with it, right? It is what it is, and you have to make peace with it. So with that said, Elder Ron, people are in the mid part of their week of their work. They're looking forward to their weekend already, and some people are in all sorts of struggle. They're struggling emotionally. That's a lot of that right now. There's a lot of emotional
Yeah.
struggle, a lot of PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
People have seen a lot. Some people have been through a 9/11 and COVID, and they're still feeling the effects of all of that.
Yeah.
Uh, some people have gone through divorce, abuse, failure. A lot of people start up things and they fail, and it's humiliation. Some people are dealing with illnesses, uh, post COVID and pre COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are dealing with loss of income, loss of opportunity, loss of wages, loss of people they love,
Mm-hmm.
all sorts of loss. And how when you when it seems like you're down and you're out, you have to change gears.
Yep.
You have to change gears. It's not business as usual. So you have to change gears. So what are some of the things that people can do to become not only stay motivated but stay inspired?
Mm-hmm.
Stay inspired
That's
to
interesting.
operate in love, to operate in peace, to operate in wisdom. Everything that you see, you know, when you're truly conscious, you are not naive.
No, far
When
from it.
you're truly humble, you are not weak.
That's right. Extremely not.
When you're motivated to do what is godly and righteous, you are handling your business.
That's right. That's right.
There's more to the world than the world system. The Matrix has you tricked to fool to believe that this is all there is,
Mm-hmm.
and this is what's most important. But you have to change gears because sometimes, so that you're clearly heard. When you get a glut of ideas,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you're speaking, you can't say them all at the same time.
Right,
And the
right, right,
way
right.
to organize things, even as you're speaking, sometimes you have to slow down so that things are clear, not only in you and to you, but that you can communicate clearly and lovingly and peaceably and wisely and humbly for the better, for the good. These people confuse the good right now for the good.
Mm-hmm.
The instant gratification has us drunk, and sobriety is to see the long term. So Go ahead, Elder Ron. Go ahead. As you can tell, I'm a little
I'm gonna
wild.
let you go.
I'm a little
I'm
wild.
gonna let you go. That stuff so rich and so informed. I'm like, shoot, I don't need to say nothing. I'm, I'm gonna sit here and listen. Shoot. For those out there that for some odd reason you may feel or it may be in your head that we know everything.
Nope.
Um, let me
Learning.
inform you. Let me give you a news flash.
Student.
We are students, forever students,
Yep.
lifetime students.
Eternal.
We attend the college of universal knowledge that
Most
comes
High
only
College.
from the Most High.
Yep.
Yeah. And so we are always learning. You will never arrive. Even when you get up there, guess
Hmm.
what? You're gonna be learning some more.
Yep.
You know, folks, I'll be laughing sometimes. I used to hear a lot of people in the church. When I get to heaven, I can't wait to walk them streets of gold and diamonds. I say, you ain't gonna have no time to be walking those streets of diamond and gold. I don't know what you think you're going up there for. You going up there to learn some more. That's
Well,
why
you
you
are
gonna
going to be
be,
walking them. You're going to be
yeah.
walking them.
Now
But
you
guess
could be
what?
walking on your way to where you're going to learn,
Exactly.
but
Exactly.
you're going to learn.
Yeah. At first, you're going to be wow, but
Yeah,
then
you're gonna be
you're going to get
amazed
used.
by what you see, but
Yeah.
you're still gonna be moving forward.
Exactly.
And you're gonna go sit before the throne and learn.
Yes.
So y'all need to go on and get ready, get used to it now, practice it now. So when you get there, it'll be so much easier to do.
Yes. Yes.
That's a newsflash. So we're always students, trust me.
Yes.
So just because we may be a little adapting some things and understanding is not lifting us up or any of that thing, because one of the first things you learn is one that understands their gifts and their callings is you stay humble. You got to stay in a position of humility because
So
that
much
is your
to
number one
know.
protector against pride, against
Hmm.
lifting one up, against the enemy being able to use things against you.
Hmm.
Because when you're in that place of humility, you can see them coming.
Yes.
Trust me, you see him coming a mile away. You already know he
Hmm.
on the way, and you got the preparation for it. And I say all that to say that it's one thing people are not understanding because of the time we're in, and we're in a time that probably has not been seen in quite a few centuries.
Hmm.
But it is a time that was spoken that we would be in this time, and the things we're seeing that we would see these very things. Now, the
Hmm.
variations of what was talked about was according to what people understood in that time,
Hmm.
what they were allowed to see in the spirit. And they could only relate it to the things that they were related to in their time to give understanding of what they were seeing to try to give
Hmm.
some understanding to those who would come to what they were seeing, but how to relate it from their time. Now you take
Yeah.
the comparison to the time you live in, and you can understand what that individual was talking about back then, what they saw, that they
Hmm.
didn't have the capacity to understand because they weren't in this time, you
Right.
know. And understand one of the things is um, you got to understand your true capacity is not limited. It's not reduced and it's not altered by the opinions of others or your previous experience.
Hallelujah.
That's the number one thing you got to always remember.
Hallelujah.
That's what we get caught at
Hmm.
because you don't know who you are. You
Yes.
know, when you think about it, most of
Hmm.
your greatest moments result from the circumstances that you didn't control, you didn't initiate.
Exactly.
You just got to
Exactly.
get good with that. You
Yeah.
know, you got to you thrive. You're thriving to find that great elixir. You know what that elixir is? You know that drink you want. I ain't talking
Elixir.
about
Yeah.
no beer, no wine, no. I'm talking about the greatest elixir. You know
Yeah.
that one we know is the spirit of the Most High poured out on us. But guess what
Yes.
comes with that? It's filled with something called commitment.
Hmm.
Ooh, did I say that? Yeah, I did.
Oh. Guess what? To even be committed, you must submit.
Yes. Oh, mm. See.
Oh,
You
that's a
see,
bad word. That's a
see,
bad word right now.
see what
That's a bad
happens when
word.
you get us started. See.
That's a bad.
And you know what submit means, right?
Yep.
Most people don't know. Let's break it down into
Yeah.
two words.
Hmm.
Submit, just like submission,
Yes.
which means the first part sub. Sub means to get under something. The
Yes.
last part is mission. So that means you need to get under and support a mission.
Yes. Exactly.
Hmm. Oh,
The
y'all thought
deeper
submission
mission.
meant something else, didn't
It's
you?
the deeper. It's the deeper mission.
It's the deeper mission. Not the
It's the
one you think you know, but the one that you supposed to know.
yes. You gonna learn. You gonna learn today.
Yeah. That's good. You gonna learn that. You gotta think about it. When you get that Alexa commitment, that's
Yeah.
when you get the courage to pursue
Hmm.
your true purpose.
Yep.
You gotta understand what you're here for is bigger than you.
Exactly.
And what I mean by that is you were born to be distinct.
Yes.
No one of us is no two of or three of us are the same. I know it's amazing to hear that we may look alike, we may have some of the same features, we may have the same skin tone, but we each one of us is unique. You are the way the Father sees you is you're rare. That's kind of deep, right? You know, when you say rare,
Yes.
you think about some artwork, you think about some other stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yes.
rare. You never self as being rare.
Yes.
First thing out your mind is out your mouth is how am I rare? Well, I mean, it just goes to say this. You know, the way the Father made you, He made you
Hmm.
perpetually valuable. Let me say
Amen.
the word
Amen.
perpetually valuable, which means you had
Non-stop.
value from the time you were born to the time you leave here. You
Mm.
are valuable. No
Amen.
matter the circumstances, no matter what is said to you, no
Mm.
matter what is done to you, no matter what you experience, you will still be valuable in
Amen.
his eyes.
Amen. Maybe not everybody else's eyes. That's
Not in anybody else's eyes. Oh, they're gonna have an opinion about you.
yeah, yeah,
Trust me.
yeah, yeah. Not maybe not
They're gonna
everybody
put you
else's.
in some kind of category,
Yes.
but that's for the purpose of them justifying their feelings,
Yes.
not based on truth.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Because the world we live in today is what? A world that is based in propaganda. Right now, it's
Hmm.
so odd. It's interesting. I saw something yesterday that had me chuckling.
Yes.
Quietly, I was chuckling to myself. What have you noticed that's been going on that's becoming so more relevant and so prevalent? It's this thing about they keep finding things floating in the atmosphere
Hmm.
over America.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's just one object
Balloons.
after another. But now,
They-
here's the funny part. Stuff that just 10 years ago you would never heard come out the mouths of people that are in positions of authority and power now saying we are
UFOs.
finding unidentifiable objects in the air. We are
Oh,
having meetings at the Pentagon about this. Now now let's break this down. Kind of as best I can, not being an expert in this field, but having some understanding of how some things work from previous experience and my brother as
hmm.
well. The common sense of this is what's ironic. You had the most sophisticated tracking devices the world has ever known in America. You have a military that has the ability with satellites 15, 20 miles into space that can pick up a dime in the jungle, pinpoint exactly where it is.
Hmm.
You have the ability to track things thousands of miles out, identify them to the point that you can look at the wiring, you can hear the voices. I mean, they can hear you through a building now.
Hmm.
They can see you through a building now.
Yep.
You mean to tell me that somebody could put a balloon into your space and you don't discover it until after it's been there?
Oh,
But
they do.
just but just recently,
Hmm.
some uh, a country called Russia,
Hmm.
as they like to do, all countries do it, we do it too.
Yeah.
They kind of flew some of their military aircraft. They here's how it's done. They don't fly
Hmm.
it into your airspace.
Hmm.
They stay in international airspace, but close enough to you to let
Mm-hmm.
you know they're there. So
Yeah.
when they're miles out, what are we doing? We have a group called NORAD, the North
Mm-hmm.
American Military Air Command, that is
Mm-hmm.
responsible for protecting the airspace of America from
Mm-hmm.
everything that flies, including nuclear weapons.
Mm-hmm.
So if you got the ability to detect a nuclear
Mm-hmm.
weapon in its
Mm-hmm.
silo in the country that it's in, being geared up and ready to be shot,
Mm-hmm.
you mean to tell me that somebody can float a balloon into your airspace and you don't know about it until it's been in there for a while? And it takes somebody calling the police station asking about that weird object in the air for you to know it's there? But when the Russians can scramble jet fighters and bombers, you got F-35s up in the air in less than 10 minutes to
Yeah.
meet them at their point of intersection.
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with this picture?
Well,
So
well,
that
well,
tells me it's called a distraction,
or,
the
or,
matrix,
or propaganda.
which is a part of it because they're getting
Yeah.
ready.
Yeah.
This is how it works. The plot never changes. It's just the actors change in the plot, but the
Yeah.
plot's always the same.
Yeah.
We need your attention over here while
Yes.
we doing something over here.
Exactly. Exactly. Well. It's also to frame certain types of peoples certain ways.
Yes.
Mind you, what did they call COVID originally?
Oh,
They
you know
call
what
it
they call it.
the Wuhan,
Yep. Didn't
right,
hesitate to call it
virus,
that. Didn't
right?
hesitate.
They did not have to because there was North Carolina involved. I won't get into it, but you know what I'm going to say, right? It was also working in conjunction, and so,
Yeah, it was.
but unbeknownst to everyone, there's a coalition being formed, and it's called BRICS.
Yes. Come on, lay it
BRICS.
out,
For
brother. Lay
all
it
the
out.
listening audience, the superpower that was the West, the United States and Japan and what have you, has now stiff competition from 5 countries that form half of the world's population.
Mm-hmm.
BRICS.
Yes.
BRICS. You need to you need to understand this because change is gonna come.
Yeah.
As Marvin Gaye sang. Right? Change is gonna come. Right? So I almost said it like Bernie Mac. Change is gonna come. Right? um, um, B is Brazil.
Yes.
R is Russia.
Mm-hmm.
I is India.
Yes.
C is China. And
Yes.
S is South Africa.
Yes.
Those 5 countries have over 3.4
Big
billion
people.
people
That's right. That's almost half of the people on the planet.
on the planet. That's almost half of the people on the planet. And they are forming a currency. They're forming a military alliance. They're forming. So, who do you think when you see that ticker in Manhattan and it's showing trillions of dollars in debt? Who do you think that the United States owes with our fiat money? Our money that the what do you call it? Money. It's not backed
Right.
by
It has no
gold.
resources
Yeah,
or
yeah,
gold.
yeah. Not backed by
Yeah.
gold.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
which is why what's going on and God is showing. This is why you have to change gears
Mm-hmm.
because what was ain't gonna be.
Ain't gonna be. Mm-mm.
There is no good old days to go back to for
Nah.
some of us,
Nah.
but there is a hope and a future.
Yes.
So right now in Nigeria, they're
Mm.
finding large lithium deposits.
Yes.
As the world is turning to a battery powered world, all of our devices,
Every single one of them.
all of our devices
Yep.
have lithium parts and batteries in them.
Yes, they do.
All these EV cars that you see, and soon EV planes and everything else.
Yes.
lithium is going to the largest deposits. 1/3 of the world's deposits, apparently, don't quote me, but look it up, verify, are found under the soils in Old Benin, or what
Yep.
is currently Nigeria.
Right. Or known as the Dahomey
Dahomey, yes, area.
Kingdom.
Not only that, talking about West Africa, in
Mm-hmm.
the Congo,
Oh man,
there
you
has
don't even.
been found rocks
Yes,
that
yes.
generate
Electricity,
power,
power.
electricity, and power. There's something special going on and a shift happening. And normally, as they portray Nigeria as corrupt, and of course, every country. It's
Has
funny
some
for
corruption of
colonial
some
country
kind.
to call
Exactly.
people that were colonized corrupt. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I
But
know, right?
yes, there's corruption in Nigeria, but there's corruption in every country. There's corruption in China. There's corruption in the United States. There's corruption in
Mm-hmm.
Canada.
And no place you go,
In
you're not gonna find.
Switzerland, listen, where do people hide their money? In Switzerland, they're supposed to be nice. La 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 la. Yeah, there's corruption there. Yes, there's corruption anywhere you see flesh. Anywhere you see people, there's going to be corruption because the flesh is corrupted. We live in a fallen world. So the reality is you have to change gears for what's actually happening. They got you looking at Democrats and Republicans when they're all the same people.
Exactly.
Saying
Same bird, just two different wings.
exactly. You know what I was going. You know right where I was going. The same bat. Let me stop. Let me stop. Let me stop. Let me stop. The same pterodactyl. The same whatever it is. It's the same. It's the wings of the same thing.
Hey, you know what's funny? You said pterodactyl, immediately the word came prehistoric.
Exactly. 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 Oh, yes. Exactly. Yeah. So you get caught up in the old argument in the old fight, and you become distracted, and you
Yeah.
speed up ahead of where you should be when you need to slow down
Mm-hmm.
and observe because your
And
emotions
observe.
will take you places where you're not ready, right? That's what's called irrational.
Yes.
Irrational, right? You run out of you become depleted
Mm-hmm.
when you're irrational. You know, in the military, what do they when you're out in the field? What do they call what they feed you? They call
Those
them
are called
rations.
rations. Yeah.
They call them rations. Are you supposed to just use them all up, burn it all up? See, when you operate according to the flesh, if you operate according to emotion, you become irrational, and you burn up a lot of energy and become depleted. Sometimes you have to slow down
That's right.
and pull back and see what's really happening or what has really gone on. Because sometimes your interpretation is just way off,
Mm-hmm.
especially if it's just all emotion.
Yeah. And that's what they base it on, how they operate, to operate
Yes,
on your emotions, not on
yes,
your thinking power. We're going to
yes.
use your emotions against you.
Drag you
So
around by
yeah.
your emotions.
So we're gonna
Yep,
we're gonna feed you things that we have already tested and tried with you
yep.
through every avenue we use of communication. So we pretty much know they're so sophisticated in the way they do stuff, even though it's foolish. You don't undermine. You don't. How can we say it? You don't think that they don't know what they're doing.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Oh, it's
Don't
very
think
intense.
that
Oh,
that you're smarter than them. You are in the sense of yourself or have an understanding of you,
mm-hmm,
but they have taken years and years of testing and trying the
mm-hmm.
things they do with us to see what works and what doesn't.
It's
They
called
know by demographics, they know
yes,
by communities exactly what to feed you to get
yes.
the exact response they need and expect for you to know whether they're being successful. When they came out with the jab, they knew they just could not give that to you. They
They had to
had to
threaten you.
prepare you mentally
Yes.
to receive it, to
Yep.
go against your own God giving specter of freedom
Mm-hmm.
of will and choice,
Mm-hmm.
to allow them to have their way with you. Think
Health,
about it.
health
Think,
is how you respond to threats.
yes,
Health is how you respond to threats. Physical threats, which are diseases, right? Emotional threats, physical threats. You are safe and secure in you when you operate in health,
yes,
right? And just because someone calls themselves a health organization or an expert in health does not mean that they have your best interest at heart.
at heart. And
Sometimes their best interest is their wallet.
that's right. And most of the time, that's what it is.
Yes,
It's
yes.
about the money. You can
So you
see
have,
that the way you get dealt with in the hospital when you go these days. It used to
yeah,
be a time you would stay and they let you stay, they nurture you so you can
mhm.
heal. They got it now. And there's certain things, even when it comes to having an operation, you in and out in 48 hours.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
They and
The
even
last
less.
heart attack, I was out in 48 hours.
Yeah.
The
I mean,
surgery. I was out the next. I
I
was
had
out the
surgery
next day.
4 months ago. I was out, I was in and out
Hmm.
in 9 hours.
Yep.
When I woke up in the recovery room
Hmm.
and I began to come back to my senses from from the anesthesia,
Hmm.
first thing they did when they saw I was awake, oh, they
Hmm.
came marching in there like troopers.
Yes.
Brought the walker, the whole
Hmm.
9 yards.
Yes.
Helped me get up out the bed, helped fix
Hmm.
my gown so I wasn't exposed. And said,
Yes.
got my little intravenous thing,
Hmm.
and, and the nurse was holding it, and the physical therapist was on this side, and they said,
Hmm.
"Come on, boy, let's start walking." I'm looking at them like, "Okay, can I rest a little bit more?" "Oh no, you got to start walking immediately." They walked me for 20 minutes. Mind you, I
Yeah.
just got off the operation table. Oh,
Yeah.
we got to get everything moving
Oh, the
inside of you.
blood
We
flowing. The
got to
blood flowing.
get that
Yeah.
blood flowing. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Especially in the bone area.
That's
If you remember Bo Jackson when he got injured, it was the hip was actually deteriorating
right.
because there's no blood flow in that area in the bone.
Exactly.
So.
So it's amazing how everything is this instantaneous world we live in,
Hmm.
because it is about, as my brother said earlier, is about money is the bottom line and everything they're doing. But when you talk about this situation with BRICS,
Hmm.
you don't hear none of this in the mainstream media. You're not going to hear it because they do not want you to know that there's a possibility. And here's the ironic thing:
Hmm.
most of the countries that were named
Hmm.
at one time or another been on America's bad list.
Brazil, Russia, India,
Yeah.
China, South Africa. And listen, the current politics, education, and entertainment is all the band playing as the Titanic is sinking.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Did you hear me?
Yep.
Did you hear me? You have to start moving yourself to the life rafts now.
Now, not
Now.
tomorrow.
Now.
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 Everything is working in conjunction as it has prophetically been put in this book we call the Bible.
Yep.
We are walking it out right now, the
Hmm.
last days. Many people don't understand, and there may be some that will argue with me, but I know why they're going to argue, because they're going to come off with something that they don't know what they're talking about.
Hmm.
I'm going to say
Yep.
it like that. They don't know what they're talking about.
Yep.
You're in the book of Revelation now.
Oh
We are
yeah.
living it out.
Yep.
Yes, you are.
Yep.
Now, I can get in Pacific and tell you where we at, but
Well,
I'm not going to go there
was your
today.
Euphrates dried up, didn't it?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Okay. All right.
Now, there's even more signs of stuff that is taking place. You've been having signs since 2018.
Mm-hmm.
You've had birds
Mm-hmm.
dropping out of the sky dying.
Yep.
You've had
Flocks
herds
of
of animals working in conjunction, units together, just walking in circles.
circles. Yep.
Walking
Yep.
in circles.
Yep.
Nobody's leading them. Now, mind you, these are animals that usually would have a herder or a
Mm-hmm.
shepherd or somebody
Mm-hmm.
leading them down. They're walking unified, like some signal is telling them to do this. You
Yep.
got more animal attacks on humans now than you ever seen before. I
Mm-hmm.
mean,
Yep.
bold stuff.
Yep.
You not them going out in the woods where the animals are and getting got, but the
Yeah.
animals coming out the woods and coming to see you.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, I saw a report where a man had his child
Mhm.
sitting on the truck. You hear what I'm saying? On the
Mhm.
truck, in the community,
Mhm.
outside the house, on the front yard.
Yeah.
And he went on the other side of the truck,
Mhm.
and out of nowhere, a coyote came across the road. Now, this is in a subdivision.
Right.
Came across the street,
Mhm.
looked and saw the baby. He said, "Ooh, free meal,"
Yep.
and started coming for the child. Out of nowhere, a dog disappeared and jumped on the coyote and said, "Oh, not today. This ain't happening today. No, sir." And
Yep.
and fought with the
Not on my
coyote
watch.
and ran him off. The father grabbed the child and ran in the house. Now,
Yeah.
where's the last time you saw that? When's the last time you've seen bears just show up at your house? When's the last time you seen your child come out the front door to go to school, waiting for you to come out and get attacked by a raccoon? Who's sitting out there waiting on you, like he knew you was coming out the door.
Yes.
And as soon as the child come out the door, immediately, if the mother had not fought the animal and beat it off, God forbid what would have happened to that child. But these mountain lions showing up at your front door.
Mhm.
This stuff is not by chance. This has been spoken biblically that these things will come to pass. The
Mhm.
earth is and nature is trying to tell us something.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It is talking to us, but we ain't listening. For the most part, some of us are, but a lot of us are not listening. And we're not paying attention. We still in the matrix
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
because it doesn't fit what you understand.
It's uncomfortable.
It's
Guess what?
uncomfortable.
When you live a distortion, clarity is uncomfortable. When you live a lie, truth is uncomfortable. When you live a debauchery, chase is uncomfortable. You get uncomfortable around folks that are sober when you're drunk.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And it's obvious that you're drunk and they
And
sober.
exactly.
Right?
Stands
Right?
out like a sore thumb.
Yep. So
See,
so
no, go ahead, brother.
so so and we're gonna close soon. We're gonna close soon.
Yes.
So changing gears is a realization that was that what was is no more, and you have to operate in the new. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. You have to be able to not change with the times. You have to be ahead of schedule.
Mm.
Your
Mm.
preparation is not changing with the times, which means you're reacting.
That's right.
You have to be proactive.
Proactive. That's right.
You have to have a knowledge of what is coming. A prophetic unction, right? Prophetic means predictive.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be the weatherman of your own climate.
Come on now. Come on. You're getting deep now.
You have to be the meteorologist of your sphere.
Yes.
You have to test the winds
Mm-hmm.
and see which way things are blowing. You can't set sail opposite the wind.
Come on now. I'm gonna give y'all
If
this.
you're going, you have to put the sail down and have a motor.
A motor. Yes.
You have
Yes.
to have a
Yeah.
motor.
This ain't the time to be sailing. This is
It's
time
not
for you to have that motor running
yeah,
because
exactly.
you need to be getting it somewhere.
Exactly.
You need to be changing gears to surge ahead,
Yes.
as our title says.
Yes,
You need to
exactly.
be understanding who you are, why you are, what you are, and whose you are. It's time for you to step into your destiny. All this we saying is that's what we're saying. It means you're gonna fulfill the role that you was created to play in this life. and not
Exactly.
the role society tells you that you're supposed to play. You got to
Yes.
remember that life offers more when your destiny is your focus. But if
Yes.
you don't know what your destiny is, you don't
Hmm.
know what to focus on. You
Yes.
are like the brother, like our brother just said, you're reactive and not proactive.
Hmm.
You're reacting to whatever the world gives you instead
Hmm.
of you telling the world what you should be doing.
Yes.
Letting it know that you got to get in line with me. I don't get in line with you. You got to understand you got a divine purpose, and
Conform
and
not.
and that's what's going to help you to surge ahead, to change gears. It's going to help you to get past them challenges. It's going to
Hmm.
help you with the pains and the shortcuts. It's going to
Hmm.
even what appears on the surface to look like failure to you is
Hmm.
a part of you changing gears to surge ahead. It
Hmm.
means you're going to get in the deeper reflection of your reason for why.
Yes.
You're gonna understand that that shift it brings you to an authentic self identity,
Hmm.
greater exposure, bolder life adventures.
Yes.
You're gonna come out your comfort zone.
Mm.
You're gonna understand that you may start out, you may have to start over, and if you do, that's again changing gears to surge ahead.
Yes.
Because if there's a greater success than what you've already accomplished, guess
Yes.
what? Now it's time to reset your inner compass. Now
Yes.
it's time to clear your path of distractions and disruptions. Correct the places where you have veered off course
Yes.
and start focusing. Get unstuck.
Yes.
Change your gears and surge ahead.
Hmm.
Start to embrace your divine purpose
Yes.
because your purpose is divine. Because
Yes.
you called to a greater thing than what you're operating in right now.
Yes.
You're operating the way the world told you to operate,
Yes.
not the way daddy told you to operate. Get that chain
Yes.
off your brain.
Yes.
We say it again. Get that chain off your brain. Yeah. Free your mind. You know,
Yes.
you got to create that mental and that spiritual environment in order for you to walk into the greatness that you were created to walk into.
Yes.
That means you're going to have to examine yourself, people.
Yes.
You're going to have to know what you believe. You're going to have to know your ideas. You're going to have to know what you stand for. And you're going to have to know what has shaped your beliefs and your ideas, which means you got to get that self-limiting belief
Yes.
off of you and
Yes.
open your brain up to
Yes.
what you may do. When you take that chain off your brain, guess what it allows you to do? It allows
Yes.
you to develop your own thought and belief system.
Yes.
Now your belief system is based off of family prejudice and biases and all that other stuff. You got stuff chained to your brain. You restrict yourself to a narrow environment.
Hmm.
Without room. For people who think differently, who can position you toward destiny. You run
Hmm.
from them folks. You stay where you familiar.
Yep.
You stay in that same house where everybody doing the same thing all the time, the same way, at the same time.
Yep.
At 4 o'clock, we're gonna watch a show that comes on. And all the family comes to watch that show.
Yep.
Or you got the brothers that every weekend, there's that one brother's house that everybody gathers at to watch sports for the next 4 hours. The next 4 hours, y'all watching sports. Now, I'm not knocking out having a good time. But if you do this every single weekend and that's all you doing, but everybody's still in the same place doing the same thing and nobody's moving forward or advancing. Nobody's surging ahead. Nobody's changing gears. There's something wrong with that picture. Because them same brothers that's sitting in that room watching that show every day
Hmm.
could come together and brainstorm and create something great
Hmm.
that could change their lives and change the lives of others if they allow themselves to. Get the chain
Right.
off the brain.
Right before we close, here's an acronym. There's three acronyms for shift. I'm only going to give you the first one. This is the morning shift. This is the beginning shift. SHIFT. Seek help intentionally focused on the truth.
Oh,
Seek help intentionally focused on the truth. And with that said, we need to shift. We need to change gears to search ahead. We pray that you have an incredibly blessed day.
yes.
We love you, and we want you to do well. We're focused
Yes,
on
we
your
do.
betterment. Um, um, to live in shalom. right? So be excited to be alive.
Yes.
Have an incredible day.
Incredible day.
Incredible day. We love you.